Hey, too, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring something I was just looking at and going over myself, and I said, hey, I might as well make a video on it and see what you guys think. So, one reason why every day is so valuable in Litecoin right now and in this cryptocurrency space, we've been in this bear market now for about 14 or 15 months, give or take, and guys, we finally started to have this trend change, that supply and demand change and switch. And what has to happen is first you get in a short-term trend, then you get in an intermediate-term trend, and then you get in that longer-term trend. And right now, we're given how many months we've been in this, which is about 3 months, this uptrend here, we are in that intermediate term, and what we want to do is turn that into a longer-term uptrend. So it's so valuable that every day goes by and we're not breaking down through this yellow line down here that I've had for quite a while now. That is our uptrend. That when we start seeing closes below that, that's when we're going to start having some trouble, guys. We're going to start seeing some lower numbers if that happens. But it's so important to think of these moving averages and these trends as basically a river, and think about, you know, how a river gets going. And like this bear market that we had here, guys, let me zoom out and show you this, and you'll just see the river and how strong it gets. That's the thing, trends get so strong. They start out short term, then intermediate, then long, and those long term trends, they get going and going and going, and they get so powerful. I mean, look at this fall, guys, in the matter of 14 months. And now do you see that, how the river just kind of almost comes down here, and then you have that switch, that supply and demand, and now it wants to start moving this way until we, you know, see some overhead resistance or whatnot. And that's how it is. So you have to be cautious, but you also have to realize, you know, these trends, they do exhaust themselves and they change, but also the power of the river can be stronger than what you realize sometimes, and we've all witnessed that. Once we lost this 200-day moving average right here in pink or purple, so our price came up to about $184. When we plunged below that, that was it, guys. And you see how we just got pushed down for months on end. Lower highs and lower lows until now we're making higher highs and higher lows. So that's why every day is so valuable right now, because it's one less day that we did not turn back, if that makes sense, like going backwards to where maybe we come up here and then we have to come back down here, maybe try for that double bottom or even go lower. Who knows? Anything can happen in this space. But you know, you want to pay attention to that supply and demand shift, how things change and how that trend changes. And now that we're up above that 200-day moving average, that has to be significant, guys, because we've been below it for so long. So we want to pay attention to if we're going to hold that as support. That's a pretty big must. That and that yellow trend line, we want to see those hold as support. Those are kind of key areas. We really don't want to get back below that 200-day moving average and start having it as overhead resistance again, and we're banging off it and everything like that. Or maybe we'll get trapped between that and the trend line until we eventually break up, and that's the full close of, hey, we're not testing the 200-day moving average anymore, support, and we're moving higher. So, you know, we've fallen for so long and so hard that now it's almost like that rounded bottoms taking place, and you can read about that. I did a chart pattern on it in the tutorial section about rounded bottoms and how the supply and demand shifts and all that different types of stuff. But you know, we're having these golden crosses, we're having a lot of good things happen, and we just have to dig ourselves out of this bear market. That's what you got to do. You know, the only thing I don't really like, though, in the RSI, like I've mentioned, and then also we still have that decreasing volume when we really should have volume building, if that makes sense. So right here you can see our volume. I'll just draw a little rough trend line there. So our volume is going down, when in all actuality, when you're making a nice move like this, which this is a really nice move, you want to see that volume swelling and increasing and growing. So that's where, you know, guys, I'm not going to tell you the bottom's in, but it's more likely than not the bottom is in. But could we test that bottom again? Oh yeah, anything can happen, you know. Or could we just blow past this area right now and we start making moves, you know, up to that $70, $80 rate, 90, and then, like I said, all this room to run up here, we could run up really hard really fast. So, you know, these moves that are in here, remember, guys, when we fell real hard here and then you have that reaction, look how violent and how hard that is. I mean, these are massive moves that are taking place, and then a huge dump, and then your reaction. See that? So what we're trying to have is this be more than a reaction, which it is now, because it's not that bear flag where it just kept right here where we're dropping, then we move sideways, then we drop down. This is too long now for that to be the case. So we're just going to have to pay attention. We're going to have to see. Remember, anything can happen, but that's what I wanted to bring to you. Just remember that these trends and these moving averages, they're like a raging river. Starting off small, then intermediate, then larger, and when they get large, they really can get moving in one direction. So keep out for that, keep an eye out for that, and also keep an eye out for us back testing that 200-day moving average. Alright guys, and that would be at around $43. So just wanted to bring this to you quick. God bless each and every one of you. And also notice, as I'm looking at it in the bull market here, do you see how we were treating that as support the whole time? Which we weren't even testing, we were just blowing up above it, but that was up above. And then once we lost it there, that was the time to get out for sure, guys. So God bless you all.